My name's Reece Jackson. Football, fighting, police, mistakes. This is my story.
My guy, what's going on? You good?
I'm good, man. Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. So let's start off. So what was it like living on this estate?
Yeah, it was good. I can't really remember when we moved here, 94, 95. You know, it was nice and normal for a young kid, you know, moving around here, playing out with the kids and stuff like that, doing young stuff. And, you know, as we got older, you know, 8, 9, 10, that's when I started really playing football. That's when I found the love for it. So, you know, playing football around here was interesting because, you know, we didn't have grass pitches, didn't have a garden, you know, so I had to make do with what we had. And, you know, as you can see around here, it's not the greatest to learn how to play football, but we had to make do with what we had.
Concrete jungle, innit?
Exactly, you know, and this is a perfect example of what we had, you know. But as we got older and stuff like that, and you know, I started seeing things that I didn't think I would see at such a young age, and at the time you don't realise what they are, but you know, there was needles on the floor, you know, and there's druggies and that in the corners, and
probably
stuff
condoms
like
as well. Everything.
Yeah, it was a bit of everything, literally rubbish. It's how you see it now was not much different to how it was back then, and I've been here 20 odd years.
Wow. But like, this is probably like Wembley to you, like when like you were small.
Absolutely. This is all, like again, this is all we had.
Yeah.
This is all we had. There was no grass pitches, so we had to make do. So coming down here, this was like, was buzzing, excited. Get up in the morning, let's go down there, let's go and play football. You know, making the concrete as goals. You know, this was our Wembley. Yeah. This end rail here, I used to fit through this.
Don't lie.
Believe it or not, this was everyone's weight was different. You had some people going through there, some people going through here, but I always remember this was my one. Get through it. Suck in, right through. I'll never forget it. And you know, I'd climb over, or we'd walk the wall and go right through and just jump down, or there was an entry over there that we used to do. But it would never stop us anyway.
Do you think the council did enough for the kids around this area when you were growing up?
Absolutely not. The amount of wasted space around here was just a joke. I mean, they promised us several years about that car park down there that would turn into a football pen. They didn't. You know, this park here was much different. It didn't look like this at all. It was just a circle of a fence with a tiny little park in it, which, you know, wasn't enough. You know, and parents didn't want their kids going down and playing like 5-10 minutes away from home. You know, my mum wanted me to be out here where she could see me. And again, coming down to, you know, some of my friends' parents, you know, they always looked out for all of us down here and they felt comfortable because they knew where we were. They could see us here. Yeah. So this was the spot for us. And not everyone could go down to the pen where we played. Quite a lot of the time, because some parents didn't want their kids down there. You know, there's some of my pals would get upset, or you know, some of them would end up sneaking off and getting in trouble, and then getting grounded for like a week for not listening. So it was tough, man, and the council didn't do enough. And I feel like what they didn't do, I think, played a part in some kids, you know, and myself getting up to no good and doing things that we shouldn't have done, because there was just really nothing to do around here. You know, so it was tough. I don't feel like they did enough at all.
Do you think this area that we're sitting in right now honed your skills as not only as a footballer but also as a man?
You know what, around here I had to just make do with what I had. So coming out here, you know, obviously I didn't have a garden, I didn't have anywhere where it had a nice surface. I had to make do with what I had. So what I ended up doing eventually is just finding different objects of how I can become a better footballer, because being a footballer is what I wanted to do. You know, there used to be 6 tyres on a slant, and I used to just whip the ball. I think I was David Beckham. I'll never forget. I used to just come out here for hours, just whip the ball into the tyres. You know, there's bins over there. We'll try and whip the ball into the bin. I had to literally make do with what I had. You know, I had to come out here, and my mum used to go mad if I used to mess up my new trainer. So what I'd do is I would put a new trainer. I was right-footed naturally, so I'd put a new trainer on my right foot and put an old one on my left. So if I know if I kick it with my right, my mum's gonna go a bit mad. So that's how I became. By the time I was 11, I was both-footed. I was both-footed because I'd come out here and I would think I was like Rivaldo and stuff like that. And we used to play ends here with my pals, and I used to always pick a left-footed player. It's just going back to just making do with what I had round here.
Yeah, no, literally, I'm gonna start rapping about all this stuff.
Yeah. What do you know about them shim ones?
So you spoke about some of the mistakes that you've made. Can you elaborate on some of those mistakes?
So yeah, listen, I always wanted to be a footballer. Always wanted to be a professional footballer for as long as I can remember. And you know, when I got to around 16, 17, they always say that you should really be in an academy by then. You know, and I think I wasn't. I think I was at Kingstonian at the time, which was still semi-pro, but it wasn't professional. And you know, see me, I'm one of them people, like, if it's not there, then I kind of like give up in a sense where I was like, okay, well, I don't think I'm going to make it. I was still young. It was a silly thing to think at 16 you're not going to make it. And I always thought to myself, you know, I don't want to go work a normal job. I don't want to do that. And you know, I didn't get the best grades in school. I wasn't smart. I messed about in school, which I regret.
But I just want to say, like, just because you didn't get the best grades at school doesn't mean that you're not smart.
No, but back then I just thought, you know, I haven't got good grades if I haven't got anything to fall back on. And the elders used to always tell me, and I never used to listen, used to go in one ear out the other. The elders used to always tell me, make sure you do well in school and always have a backup plan. I didn't. So it made me turn to things like selling drugs, which I didn't want to do. You know, fighting, I was getting myself into situations that, you know, I shouldn't have. But lucky enough, you know, my older brother had a reputation at which he was well respected. So I was lucky enough to get out of a few things sometimes. Don't get me wrong, I could hold my ground. I would never really like shout my brother's name all the time. And at the time as well, I loved the fight. I loved fighting. You know, boxing came into at one point, but I just didn't want to do it. It was one or the other. I wanted to be a footballer, and I loved the fight. Always fighting, and it happened a lot on the football pitch. Used to fight a lot. I received my first red card when I was 16. A player spat at me, and I knocked him out, and that's when it all started from there. So I had a buzz of fighting.
It's adrenaline.
So I was going out, I was doing silly things, robbing people for their phones, fighting, kicking people off their bikes, doing dumb stuff.
What was the changing point? What was the penny drop moment? Was like, shit, you know what? I've got to change.
When I was 15, 16, that was the first time, but I didn't really learn. So I was involved in a big fight down in Wandsworth, big massive fight, and I was arrested for it. And I was charged for attempted robbery, which I don't know why I went down as attempted robbery, because it was a big fight. I think the boy had lost these items in the fight. It was a big fight, and I remember I was arrested for it. I was charged. I went to inner London court, was on trial and got found guilty, and I cried my eyes out like a baby when the judge said I got guilty. Lucky enough, my GCSEs were like 3 weeks later, and the judge said to me, look, I'm not going to take your GCSEs away from you, even though I wasn't going to do well. But I was on a strict regime. I was on tag 6 months, on probation and stuff like that. So that was kind of it. But I think maybe when I was 20, 21, something quite really personal to me, which I probably won't ever speak about. But something happened to me physically, which made me stop everything completely and say, you know, this isn't the life for me. Basically, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, put myself in a situation which I shouldn't have, and it physically changed me for life. And it eats me up every day mentally. It affects me every day. It will always affect me every day, and I probably won't ever speak about it because I'll probably get embarrassed about it. But that was the change. That was the game changer. I remember laying in the hospital after my operation, and I was in hospital for my birthday as well. And I just remember thinking, this has got to stop.
Yeah.
This has got to stop, or I'm going to just lose my life or just go to prison. And I wasn't that sort of person. You know, I wasn't that type of boy I was never going to go to jail because I saw loads of people around me go to jail.
Yeah.
I was lucky. When I was 15, 16, I'd just been let off. I had a lifeline there.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there's times in life where I needed to put myself in that situation because I was struggling for money. You know,
Yeah.
I had to sell my phone, my PlayStation controls.
Yeah.
I was selling football boots to the boys, which I couldn't even really afford to do because I was still playing myself. So
Yeah.
I was putting myself in situations where I had to go out and do these things I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do these things, but I
Yeah.
had to because you need money to survive.
And like seeing how close you are with your mum as well, like I won't call it embarrassment, but like again, like you don't want to embarrass your mum, like that must have also played on your mind.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there was after that time that when I got arrested in 2004, that was the first and major last time. I was arrested for a couple of things after, silly things, like I was arrested for a push bike that actually wasn't even stolen, but I was arrested for it because my name, the family name was kind of, you know, we was getting into trouble, me and like my older brothers and stuff like that. So there was times I'd get arrested and I think about what my mum would think. I was so embarrassed. My mum was so unhappy with me, and I'd come back released from the police station. She'd be gutted, man. I didn't want to see her like that. But again, it just goes back to I didn't want to work a normal job.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do these things until later on in my life. I had the mindset of be a professional footballer or go and sell drugs and do stupid stuff, which I look back now and just think was a joke. This bit here was a little bit different. We couldn't really play football here. This was more of like where we'd play run-outs and stuff like that, and 40-40 home and stuff like that. It was really good for hiding, but it was also like an escape route for us from the police. This bridge here leading into that back door. So this actually leads out to where we was earlier at the front. So if that door was open and this door was open, we was in luck because we was getting away from the police. Anything we would have done, if the police were called and we was doing something silly, this would be like our escape route here, through here and then up into the blocks and hiding. So it was nice for us to kind of get away from the police and stuff like that. But this bit here was, I feel like I felt out my comfort zone here, because this is where some of the parents who didn't really like me because of the person I was becoming, you know, I was known for like being this little bad boy around here. This is where some of the parents around here and some of the people didn't actually like me. And my best friend and that used to live here, and his mum never used to let me in. Every time she was in, she never used to let me in when we first started hanging out. And I remember one time he turned his TV round on the windowsill and I was playing FIFA. I was playing Pro Evolution from here. I was sitting here and I was playing Pro Evolution, and he had his TV round there, and I used to climb through his window every time. We used to jump out his window and I used to climb through it, and it was nuts. I'll never forget, that's when I first broke my ankle the first time. His mum came back and I jumped out the window round there and broke my ankle. Another part of where we came and played football as well, very small, but we used to play like 5-a-side here. We'd use this as a post, and we'd use the white pole as a post as well. That's one goal. This wasn't here at the time. This wasn't here, and none of them bushes were here as well. Another goal. This is the goal down here as well. Yeah, two bricks, posts. And this is where we'd get it cracking here, man. Look how small the space is. The trees weren't here either. It was just a concrete here. And again, we'd play 5-a-side here. Like, look, you can't even do. This is 2-a-side.
I would even say this is like almost like mini futsal, isn't it?
Yeah, this was like used to play World Cup here, take this proper serious. The losing team would wait down there or down there off the steps, and we would get it. We'd get it cracking here, man. This was where it went off here as well. Again, we had to make do with what we had, but we loved it at the time. We loved it. Like now, I look at it and I think, how the hell did we play football here? We can't play football here. No one would. The people that move here now must think no kid ever played football here. But this was again. This was another football pitch.
Sometimes you have to hear someone else's story or like someone else's narrative to even look at yourself and think, like, what are the things that I've done wrong, like, and like what are the things that have made me the person who I am as well. So kind of hearing like your story, and of course kind of getting to know you more, it's like
well, it's going to get a little bit deep when we talk about, because there's a big story behind this ball, man, and I won't say it now. I think I should just let it roll. You'll find out when we go in there what is actually behind that ball, and you'll be surprised after. I think you'll be shocked of what was actually going to come out of it. Yeah, so now we're in my old room, which I have all my medals from when I first started playing. Majority of them are here. I think there's over 40 medals here. Going back to like 96, I'm seeing in there, 98, all different sorts of medals. Top goal scorer, supporters player, managers player, first, second. There's a bit of everything in there, man.
This is literally where my like envious side comes from, because I don't have the like medal cabinet like I see right here. You know, you've definitely got a lot more trophies than Spurs. I can definitely say that. But you know, again, you know, every trophy, every medal represents a journey of your footballing career right now, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm proud of all the medals that I've got. I look back at them and I think what I've got, but you know, everyone always asks me. Some people always ask me, "What's your favourite one?" And it's easy for me, really. It's this little beauty here. It's a football, but it's a trophy of mine, and it actually means a lot to me, because you know, I'm proud of. Firstly, I'm proud of scoring a hat-trick in the FA Cup. Not many people can actually say that.
Yeah,
they've done that. Yeah, it was. I was playing non-league for Dorking at the time, but we're still in the same competition as the professionals. It's all one big competition, and to get a hat-trick in that, I'm proud of that. Of course I am, and I'll always be. But the main story behind this ball is in 2011 my brother passed away in a motorbike crash, which left a massive hole in my life and my family's life and stuff like that. And you know, after he passed away, I didn't play football for about a year. It was on and off, playing Sundays, but my mind wasn't in it at all. And it was at this very point here where I'm sitting now, where no one actually knew about. One day I actually just sort of had enough, and I actually thought about taking my own life. I actually thought about committing suicide. You know, I never, obviously I never went through with it. I never like looked into it. I just thought about, you know, I didn't want to be here no more. I wasn't working. You know, I was struggling for money. I was selling my items to make money. I didn't want to play football. Obviously, I was broken. I just lost my brother. It was very hard for me, and he was sort of like the role model for me. And I remember sitting there and obviously having them thoughts. And then a few weeks later, a man called Glenn Stevens, a very nice man who managed me in quite a few teams, told me to come down to Dorking. And it was something I didn't want to do. I was like, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to play football. And he was just like, look, you know, you got life moves on, which is true. You know, life moves on. You've got to get on with it. You're very talented. Come down. And it was this game here where I returned to football. 11th of August 2012, FA Cup against VCD Athletic. We lost 4-3. And this game here was the game changer, because when I brought this ball home and I put it in that cabinet, that's when I said to myself, I need to be here. I need to change my life. You know, having thoughts of taking my life, to putting this ball in my cabinet and thinking, I'm so proud, I'm glad I didn't do that. and now I'm here. You know, I'm proud of this ball. So this is what this people say. You know, he's a show off, and he talks about an FA Cup ball in non-league. It's deeper than that. This here, football saved my life. Football actually did save my life.
You know, your like dad wasn't in your life. How tough was it for you, your brothers and your mum?
Yeah, it was tough. I'm the youngest of four, and my older brother didn't have his dad there as well. So obviously my oldest brother's got his own dad, and then me and my other two brothers got the same dad, and not one of them played a part in our lives. And it was tough for my mum, man. It was tough. It was tough for a single mum raising four boys in Wandsworth and Battersea. It was tough. It was tough. You know, I found it tough because I wanted that dad figure there. You know, I used to go to football all the time, and all my pals have got their dads there watching, got their mums there. I didn't have none of that. You know, I didn't have no one there to watch me. My mum didn't like football, and you know, she couldn't get there all the time as well. And it was tough for me. But then, when I look back now, I think it made me the man I am today. And it was nice because when I had my son at 27, 28, I thought I'd experienced everything in life. You know, being a dad for the first time, which was the best feeling ever. But I didn't have a son and dad bond, which most of my friends did. So I was experiencing that for the first time, which I'm so grateful for, because it was a nice feeling being near enough 30 years old. You feel like you've done most things in your life, but it was something new, and it was something I loved.
And like, let's kind of take it back. Probably your son is your biggest trophy.
Of course he is. Of course he is. Everything I do now is for him. I was lucky enough to meet such an amazing woman who I've been with near enough 5 years now. The most important thing ever, she let me be me.
Yeah.
She let me be me.
Yeah.
You know, she wasn't jealous of the fact that I had girls as friends, that I was this person that I got on with anyone really. She let me be me, and that was so important for me. And we had a beautiful son together, and we've now got another one on the way. Thank you very much. So yeah, I've experienced some good things recently, and I'm very grateful for my son and my partner, and my mum as well, and some people around me. I'm very grateful for some of the people I've got around me, definitely.
He was very open and very candid about your like feelings of suicidal thoughts. Let's kind of, you know, call a spade. What advice would you give to anyone that's struggling with their journey, with their health mentally?
You know what? Just before I give my advice, what I will say is, you know, no one knew what I was going through. I didn't speak to anybody at all. There's some people who are going to watch this now and not realise that's what I was going through. I didn't speak to anyone. I wasn't that person. I didn't want to reach out for help. I didn't want to put my mum under more pressure. She was already going through enough. She just lost her son. I didn't want to reach out to anyone. I didn't want to reach out to some of my friends because I didn't feel like some of them were there for me. So I bottled it all up and dealt with it myself. I've always been that sort of person anyway, where I can try and deal with things myself. I've grown up, I've seen older people, you know, where some of the things they've done, you know, it gets spoken about, and that's something I don't really like. I don't really like my issues getting spoken about. So I bottled it all up and, you know, tried to deal with it myself. But, you know, I was lucky enough to get out of it. Some people are not lucky enough to get out of it. And what I will say is just open up and talk to people. Open up and speak to someone, because it is tough. You know, I think I was just lucky enough that I got over that hurdle, where I went from wanting to take my own life to putting this ball in the cabinet in the space of a month, thinking I need to be here, you know. So you need to open up and speak to someone. You know, it can be anyone you feel comfortable with. Try not to do it. If you can do it by yourself, then if you're comfortable enough to do it by yourself, then do it by yourself. You know, I was lucky enough to do it, but you know, if it's really killing you inside, and back then I didn't really know what depression was.
Yeah.
People don't talk about depression and mental health back then. Remember, I was I was a young boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 22. I didn't know what them things were. Like going back to it, I wasn't really clued on. I wasn't a smart boy.
I think it's still a stigma, and you know we are very open now, but it's still a stigma with like men
Yeah.
about, you know, depression, suicide, even like crying. Like men, you know, when you know we play football, are not supposed to show our emotions.
Yeah. People say to you, man up,
Man up,
man up.
man on. Like, you know, there's like so many different phrases where, you know, like I kind of go home and I think, wow, like what have I done today? Like, have I like done the right thing? You know, everyone kind of goes through their own journey, however, you know, good or bad it is. And you know, I think as like men, like we have to open up.
Of course we do. Of course we do. It's so important to do, because, you know, people will judge everyone by, you know, oh, he's soft, should be crying. Man up, bro, what's wrong with you? You know, that's what we used to hear back in the day.
100%.
Come on, man. But, you know, as I got older, I'm not afraid to open up. If I want to cry, I'll cry.
Yeah.
I will cry.
Yeah.
You know, I've gone through a lot in my life. Yeah, some of the things I've seen, some of the things I've done, lost some people. You know, I've been in a very low place. You know, I'm not scared to open up. If I want to get upset, I'll get upset.
What's this name? Why always Jacko? Come on now, like, let us know about this. Let us know.
Everyone asked me about that. You know what? It originally started from when I was playing football, from when I first started getting into fighting in football. Started having a bad name for myself. Clubs didn't want to take me because, as I said, I'd built like a reputation. So it was like, you know, why always Jacko? Why always him? Why him? You know, so it started from football. So I just thought, you know, why always me? Why always Jacko? And then it built into like my outside life.
Yeah.
My normal life, you know, people talking about me when I didn't feel like they need to. There's nothing for them to really even talk about.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why always me? And like, even to this day now, I say to my partner, why always me? I was gonna nut you.
Why do you think that you didn't turn pro in the men's game?
Combination of things, really. Was I good enough? Yeah, I think I was. Why not? I think I was, like, again, going back to, you know, being both-footed from a young age.
Yeah.
I think I was good enough. Yeah, I was technically very good. I could pass the ball, control the ball. Was I the greatest of finishers? Probably not. I'm not a goal scorer. I'm not a striker who gets 30, 40 a season. No. But I'm very versatile. I can play in different positions. I started off playing as a left back. Went to centre half, where lots of people will probably say I should have stayed there. I probably could have made it. You know, when I played centre half at one point, you know, I had a team from Scotland look at me. Again, my attitude let me down in that, and ended up playing up front. So yeah, it was a combination of things. Wrong attitude. Thought I was big time. Yeah, thought I was better than everyone else. Didn't want to train as well. Hated training. Hated it. You wouldn't catch me at training. I mean, I've now gone to a new club and I've done like 3 sessions in a row, and I'm like, wow, I think I've completed 3 sessions in a row for the first time ever, and I'm now 31. You know, so it's a big thing. So yeah, it's a combination of things. Did I want it enough? No. I was too involved in silly things on the outside, getting into trouble. And going back to, like I said earlier, when I got to 16, 17, you know, I wasn't in a pro academy.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like I was going to make it, which was the wrong mentality to have.
Yeah. I think now, in this day and age, people are more open to fact. Okay, if I'm not a footballer, I can be a physio. I can kind of go into some sort of management role at certain clubs as well. Like, I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I turned 18, my older brother got me into coaching, which was good for me, because I'd go on a Saturday morning, earn a little £30, which was a lot of money for me back then. I would coach young kids, get experience, get a little bit of money, still be involved in the football, and then go to play my own game. So I was like, Saturday, I was loving it. I was also getting the experience, and I haven't stopped coaching since.
On then. One more attempt.
Don't watch the eyes, yeah? Don't watch the eyes.
What's the one thing you really want to hammer home to people watching this?
Listen, I wanted to do this because I wanted to send a message and tell my story the same way as, you know, rappers tell their story in that way. I wanted to tell mine this way, you know. And there's people saying there that I think I'm this, I think I'm that. You know, you think you're a celebrity, but they're not seeing what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, I'm trying to send a message to the younger people. Yeah, of, you know, try not to make the same mistakes I did. Try and stay focused. Yeah, I'm also trying to send a message to people who haven't grown up on council estates. Trying to show them how we lived. You know, and just really tell my story and show everyone some of the things show people what I got up to, how I learned to play football in some of the most craziest environments. Yeah, some of the things I used, how I used to get a better footballer. You know, I was lucky enough to come down to something like this, but on our estate we didn't have none of this. You know, so it's just really about sending a message to these people, especially to the younger people who are going to see this. It's more about the younger people who are going to watch this and think, you know, okay, I'm going through similar things. Maybe I could change that. Maybe I could change this before it's too late. So yeah, I just wanted to tell my story, and I'm grateful that I got this opportunity to do it. I'm very thankful for where I am today, from where I've been in a low point of my life. I'm very grateful for where I am now. You know, I've got a great job working in a school where I help vulnerable kids who are making similar mistakes to me, passing on my experience to them, helping them stay on track, you know. Still playing football myself, making the most of, you know, how long I've got left, trying to build a foundation, you know, trying to help my family, just trying to do the best I can, really. My name's Reece Jackson, and this is my story.
One more time, you got in the shot.